Hello and good morning to everyone. This is the Monday after WWE Fastlane 2017. And you know what? I felt like doing a video, or you listening to my voice while you see the picture of my avatar. Either way, it's fun for everybody. So I wasn't going to do this. I can't say I do this often. I haven't done it in a while, I should say. But last night's pay-per-view was very interesting. I'm only going to be talking about a few matches in particular in which I feel the WWE really dropped the ball. Now, I have no problem being a completely 100% wrong in what I pick. I mean, it's for fun. Who cares? I mean, I can be 100% wrong as long as the matches are still good. But if the decisions as to why they've been done are so mind-bogglingly stupid, I have every reserve right to say why. And I'm going to get into that. So, the kickoff match, I didn't get that right. Who cares? I think all things considered, I think we can say that I think Joe and Zayn probably had the best match on the card. I will say that I am getting kind of, I don't want to say annoyed or fed up, but I feel like I am getting to one of those two words, because I'm not going to tap out finisher, but the match is going to end in submission result. I feel like they're getting a little too comfortable with that. It feels like they're doing that a little too much. And what I mean by too much is that if you're doing that more than once or twice a year, you need to stop doing that. And I'm thinking back with like Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin when, he locked in the sharpshooter on Austin and he passed out. He didn't tap out, and it's still a submission victory. I feel like they're getting a little too comfortable with that. The finisher of a match shouldn't always have to go to some ridiculous, alternative conclusion. Because right away, it almost feels like they're setting up for a reverse. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I feel like when you give up an alternative solution to a match as opposed to a legitimate pinfall or a submission, I know for a fact with WCW, they love doing that. They'll have the fixed finish, and then the following month the face will get their comeuppance. Don't know if Zayn's going to end up having that come at WrestleMania if him and Joe have another match. Clearly, they're doing this to protect Zayn. I don't know why. He had a program where he was going for the U.S. title, and it feels like they just kind of pulled the rug out from underneath that because, reasons. Got to have the reasons. And I really don't know why. I don't know why. I would have liked to see Zayn and Joe have a classic 20, 25-minute match. And I have no problem with Zayn losing. But if they're going to start building up talent in Zayn, they have to have him start winning more convincingly. Now, yes, this is a protected finish. And yes, I'm reading more into it than I should have. I hate that. I don't like that call. I know it makes him look good because he didn't technically tap out. In a world with MMA and Ultimate Fighting, it means nothing. He could have been working over his neck or his shoulder the entire match, and then the minute he locked in his coquina clutch, just call it there. But other than that, it was probably the best match on the card. I called Gallows and Anderson retaining. They need to have those belts at least till Mania. I did not call Sasha winning over Nia. I would have liked to see Nia win, maybe get a good heel run out of her or something. But no, I think they just want to have Sasha win because they don't want her losing so much and then, start having the crowd, deter from her. I know why they did that. And I do think those two probably had the better of their two matches. And I say good for them. Good for them. Two shows which I were not aware that were on the card, but Cesaro versus Jinder Mahal because, let's just have another match on the card. I'm not a fan of Jinder Mahal. I just don't know. I don't even know why he's back in the business. I guess to fill a roster spot. Big Show beating Rusev. I mean, whatever. That's cool. They're obviously going to build up Big Show. They're going to build up a match with him and Shaquille O'Neal because reasons. And Big Show is in the best shape of his life since, I think, when he first debuted in 95 in WCW. Like, he's dropped a lot of weight. He's still an older guy. He can't move quite as fast, but he's in terrific shape and, awesome. Good for him. He's gonna live longer because of the decisions that he's making, and it's nice to see him down to a much slimmer weight. He's putting on some muscle. I do have a feeling we're coming up on a Big Show retirement really, really soon. I have a feeling that 2017 might be the very last year for Big Show. And I'm not saying that because I dislike him severely or there's something about him I just genuinely don't like. I'm just saying that his age is catching up with him. He's not the same Big Show he was. There's only so many programs you can have with somebody who's, I think he's 50 now, if I'm remembering correctly. But he's definitely up there. So I think we're getting close. I think 2017 might be his last year. Bayley beating Charlotte Flair. I was like, okay, cool. They broke the curse of Flair, and I thought good for them. Give me 1 second here. I got to catch up on some notes. Yeah. Sorry, I had to catch up on some notes here. Here's the reason it's done better. They had Bayley winning, but of course, people can argue it was protected because Sasha was at ringside, and I have a feeling they're going to play off some huge angle. I think either Sasha and Bayley or Charlotte and Bayley and Sasha in a triple threat match. So I guess you could argue it was a protected win for Charlotte, even though she doesn't need it. She's had the title. She's had the title pretty regularly in 2016. So to argue she needed to lose by a face. Oh my God, I don't know. I'm impartial on it. Good for Bayley. She deserves it. I would have liked to see Sasha get that kind of treatment. I have a feeling they're probably just going to have Sasha go full-blown heel come Mania time, and then they're going to give her a nice long title reign because why not? Now into the two matches, and then I'm just going to skip right over Neville and Jack Gallagher. It was to be expected. Good match. Heel Neville is a good Neville. Roman Reigns beating Braun Strowman. I hated that for several reasons. I hated it because, yet again, they decided, you know what? We're just going to have Roman win. We're just going to have him win flat out. We're not going to have any distraction. Screw having any kind of interference from Taker. It pissed me off. It royally pissed me off because this should have been Braun's freaking moment. This should have been his match that solidifies his standing in the company. So now, and I doubt they're going to do this, so now they have to pull the trigger on him winning at some huge match at Mania to make it convincing, or it's pretty much worthless at this point. They have dug themselves into a hole, and it's the Roman Reigns hole. The Roman Empire in Vince's eyes must not be toppled. And here's the problem. When you put him in a faction with two other people who have better charisma, can talk better, can work better, and he doesn't, and he's the one person that says the least, of course it's going to do well. But you split him up, and he's still carrying the remnants of the Shield, still the same music. It's non-stop. And for the last several years, it feels like we've just been getting force-fed Roman Reigns nonstop. And I'll tell you why I cannot stand Roman Reigns. Number one, his matches are far more boring than John Cena. And everyone will, argue and complain, oh, John Cena back in his heyday. I don't want to hear that crap. At least, first of all, the man knew how to work. The man at least tried. John Cena tried. And as much as I used to get so annoyed with John Cena, a lot of it just has to do with how they market him, his entrance music. But as far as his ability to work in the ring, it's been solid for the most part. Granted, he's not the most technically proficient wrestler, but it's something. Roman Reigns, it's the same match. He gasses out after 5 minutes, and then it's up to the guy to carry him for the next 15. And then he gets in his 5 minutes of offense, Samoan drop, Superman punch, spear, Superman. It's the same match. Two spears to put down Braun. So you can argue that, he's not a normal man. They were doing a great job building this guy up. And I was really hoping that they would have brought, Undertaker's gong or something would hit mid-match and would have caused a distraction. But nope, Roman gets the clean 3, and Strowman gets a loss, which pretty much slows him down completely because now no matter what happens, they've completely halted his momentum because Roman has to win because he needs to win. He was, you know what? I know I'm going on a tangent here. I really don't care. Feel free to turn it off if you don't like it. But I need to vent on this for my own sanity. Number one, and very importantly, the man is a charisma vacuum entirely. Every time he gets on the microphone, I mute the television. Every single time. I'm sick and tired of listening to his Shield entrance and his Roman Empire little emblem. You know what? Get that crap out of my face. It's not the same thing. It's bull. You can't put him in the Usos in a 6-man tag match because nobody cares about him. It's sad. It is sad too that Roman Reigns can get better air than the Usos, and the Usos were several-time tag champs, and they're known for their high flying. That's sad when you're better in just comparison. It's sad when your own cousin can't even come out and get you over. Your cousin who is a several-time WWE champion who is known for getting crowds amped up. Like one of the best talkers in the business, The Rock. The Rock could not get this guy over. And people are booing both of them out of the building at a time. Like even protected wins where he doesn't flat out lose due to interference. Like look at WrestleMania 31 for crying out loud. Roman was on the path to winning, and there are even reports that that his family were planning on going after the WWE if he had lost to Lesnar. And I guess this was WWE's way of saying, well, we think it's really stupid. But what happened months later? They had him in some stupid angle with the title, and Sheamus cashed it. It was just stupid. And his title reign in the fall of 2000 I think it was 2015 was absolutely abysmal. It was the worst. It was boring. The man can't talk. There are a few times he can. This is not the time. He can't talk. He can't work. He barely puts people over. It's on everyone else's responsibility to look good. And ever since that point, every match he's been in, the whole point of it was to make someone else look good. He got bumped down to mid-card, and I thought he was getting better because he wasn't on he wasn't on the main stage taking up someone else's spot. But for all the times people yell about John Cena doing this, I'm like, no, the man has tightened up his game over the years. And he realizes this too, because understand this. Like the late 2000s and the early 2010s, you have to understand something. They really needed their top go-to guy because not a lot of people were a huge draw around that time. And it wasn't until guys like CM Punk came along where they're like, they can market this guy. Because remember, they're huge, big guys from the early 2000s. They were gone. Edge was bowing out because of a neck injury. And a lot of their mainstay people were not doing the job because they weren't booking people correctly. So they dug themselves into a hole. And you kind of figure now in 2017, Vince McMahon would say, okay, well, the fans are booing this man relentlessly. You got a good monster character with Braun Strowman where he's getting better and better and better every time he gets into the ring. So let's feed him to Roman going into WrestleMania, which means that if they did have Braun win at WrestleMania in a match against Roman, I almost would say that would wipe this out, but you know what? That all remains to be seen. And probably the one match of the night who I feel was the biggest head-scratching moment of all time was Goldberg winning against Kevin Owens and becoming the new Universal Champion. Why? Just why? Why? What is the reason for this? Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody give me a coherent reason as to why? Owens reluctantly gets into the ring to start the match. I thought, okay, good. Owens is playing up the crowd, being the classic chicken heel. And then he gets in. Jericho's theme distracts him. And then Goldberg, spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, new champion in super short time. Why? Because we have to put over Lesnar at Mania, and that's all I think this is. I think that was part of what was in Lesnar's contract, and this was the only way that they can have Lesnar, A, get the title, B, finish up the matches they were scheduled to do to make Lesnar go over some super heel, which kind of now, I'm wondering now if they're going to do anything and Mania would look a triple threat. I doubt it. It would be really stupid if they did that. So you take the belt off of arguably one of the best talents on Raw right now in record time. No protection whatsoever. None. So now we get your final match between Goldberg and Lesnar, and this will be their final one. All signs are pointing to this being their last one. And what's Kevin Owens going to do now? If they continue to stay the course, it's going to be Owens and Jericho at Mania. My question is, who cares? If it was the Universal title on the line and they had built up a good program over the next month where like it's Owens paying or like tormenting Jericho and like you've had your shot, you're never gonna be on the top of the mountain again. Like I am Monday Night Raw, and just relentless beatings and attacks, and then like you start seeing Jericho come full face. They have an amazing match at Mania where Jericho goes over, wins the Universal title, and probably one of the best matches of the night. And he carries it off with him until I do believe May or June he is going to be going to do band-related stuff. But no, let's give it over to Goldberg because we all know that, I don't know what they're doing with Goldberg at this point. I really don't. Now, I used to be a huge Goldberg fan, and I loved Goldberg back in the day. I like those explosive dominating matches, especially like the ones that knew they didn't have to go 15, 20 minutes. But now I'm wondering as to why. He squashed Lesnar at Survivor Series last year in record time. He demolished Lesnar at the Royal Rumble match. And I don't know. I really don't know what the hell's going on. I really don't. I'm at a loss for words. I just think the company is so cheap right now. They didn't want to pay for the Undertaker music or Undertaker appearance during the Roman Reigns and Strowman match. Protect Roman that way at least. It distracts Roman. Braun comes in, gets his front face choke slam finisher, and then he gets the win, and then they go into Mania. Because I'll tell you one thing right now, at this point, they screwed up with that. Because if face Roman goes over Undertaker at Mania with no heat, I don't think anyone's going to get behind Roman. No one's going to get behind the good guy who is going to be the final match of the Undertaker, which a lot of people are saying very well could happen. I'm really hoping not at this point. But now they won't even pay for Lesnar's theme or Lesnar or even Heyman for that matter to cause some kind of distraction to allow Kevin Owens to pick up the protected win, to have him work a program where he's not in the middle of these two giant behemoths. And that's the problem. The WWE dug a hole with Kevin Owens because, first of all, they're having him run programs with Roman Reigns. And that made him look better just by simple comparison because Kevin Owens can run circles around Roman Reigns. Like, there's no doubt about that. But now they have him getting in the middle of the crosshairs of Goldberg prior to his match at Mania with Lesnar. So everyone kind of knew there was some shenanigans going on, but we're like, okay, maybe this will be the match where they can, let Kevin Owens get in some decent offense, and Lesnar will come out, attack Goldberg. Like, at the very least, I was expecting a DQ finish. But no, we got Owens being beaten in record time because nobody can stop the unbeatable Goldberg. Like, they're making Goldberg look like Lesnar's championship run from several years ago look like a freaking cakewalk, just by comparison. So, what do I give this pay-per-view overall? Well, I don't recall if I gave in my predictions video a grade to this. I said this is going to be a decent pay-per-view, but nothing to write home about. I'm going to say it was less than that. I'm going to say this was a less than average pay-per-view, and unless you just wanted to watch the people who you thought were going to win lose, I would say just ignore it. Just follow up on the pay-per-view points online, watch some highlights. Other than that, stay away from this. I was thoroughly disappointed throughout this. This should have been the pay-per-view. This should have been one of the most protected pay-per-views of the year going into Mania, but now they've essentially bumped Owens down a couple pegs just for no reason because they got to get their huge WrestleMania 20 rematch between Lesnar and Goldberg. They've bumped Braun Strowman down because, Roman Reigns has to be the number one dude. It's still waiting to hear if the dead man is going to be challenging Roman because at this point I really don't even know the reason because it would be such a waste of a call out. It should be somebody. It should be somebody else. It really should be somebody else. But we'll see. But yeah. So as we get closer to WrestleMania, we'll do something fun. Go over the card, who we think will win. Maybe make a neat little podcast about it. But as far as this whole pay-per-view as it goes, I would probably give this like a C-. And the only reason why I won't go any lower than that was because I'm not going to punish the people on this that actually were good. Cesaro was good. Bayley and Charlotte were better. Sasha Banks winning was nice. The Cruiserweights really did good. Zayd and Joe were probably the best match on the card. So probably a C- to a C. I'm not going any higher than that. So anyway, I feel a little bit better now. Let me know what you all think. With all that being thrown out there, I'm just wanting to get to WrestleMania already. And I will talk to you next time.